Hi, my name is Mark Peterson, and I'm going to talk to you for about 10 minutes on remote collaboration. A lot of our clients ask us what type of collaboration tool they should use, and my answer is typically all of them. And actually, it's more specific, an inside tool and an outside tool, or an informal tool and a formal tool. And that's because different collaboration products have a better fit depending upon their use in different environments. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about it in terms of the user experience, how to join meetings, how to launch them and see and be heard, and their different applications in the workflow. Of course, in these cases, we want our experience to be consistent. So whether I'm using Skype for Business or Zoom or Teams or any other product out there, I'm expecting that there's some consistency, and actually that's not always the case. And when I look at web conferencing, there's a hierarchy of needs. The first thing is I've got to be able to schedule and find a meeting before I can join it. And before I can start to share content, I need to be able to see and hear the other participants and be heard myself. And then after all that's done, I can start to talk about some additional things like how uniform the pictures are and how the quality of the audio is across all the different participants in the group. So when you start looking at scheduling and finding a meeting, fortunately, all these products are fairly consistent in the way that you do that. In most cases, we use Outlook, Office 365, and we use plugins that are located on the ribbon bar. And I can click on that and add this invite into a regular meeting, that a normal meeting I would have, whether it's with people or with rooms. And I'll get the URL link that I can click on. And I'll also, if I have within my subscription a phone number associated with it, I can add a phone number, and people then can dial into that call regardless of whether or not they have gotten to a computer or whether they're using the application itself. So these are consistent across the different platforms, and if you don't have Outlook, you can still use the app itself and get to those same tools. But from there, things start to get quite different. Let's first look at Microsoft. Now, Microsoft Skype for Business and Teams are two different applications. The first one that's been out for a while is Skype for Business, and this is how it works. I am able to open up an application and I can see my contacts. I am my contact and say, oh, would you like to do an audio or video call? Can I share a document with you? And then we can get into the call. Now, I can also add people as well. This experience is all within the Skype for Business application. Once I start to get into a video call, I'm going to have to adjust my window of what I'm showing and sharing to other people, and I'm going to be able to adjust the way that I see other people that I'm participating with. But this ability to escalate from an instant message into a video call is really about the uniqueness of the Skype for Business and the spontaneity. Now, at the same time, I can create a calendar invite and book a Skype for meeting as well, but the ability to do this instantaneous group and ease of jumping in and out of calls, there's nothing as effective as that. And let's compare that to Microsoft Teams. Now, for Teams, I'm really going to be going into an ecosystem here. My entire desktop is really this rich experience of documents and posts and files. And oh, by the way, I can chat and do phone calls. So the collaboration, the real-time live collaboration, is a part of a larger experience. And even though the icons are the same and they're across these applications, the camera for video and phone and sharing content, the user experience is definitely different. The way I chat and find people is substantially different between these two applications. Now, if we compare that to Zoom, Zoom is all about, at least today's product, about the live video experience. And so I have not much less information here about what other content I'm trying to share outside of the call. It's about sharing real content, either two people or more be able to share content simultaneously, actually. And I can join the call either from the Outlook invite or from the platform. And once I'm in there, I can adjust what I am sharing to other people on how I'm able to see them. And this whole part of this experience with Zoom, and I've compared these quite a bit, the ability to share content with Zoom is the easiest because it doesn't give you a lot of extra options here. So when I'm in a formal meeting or formal training session, this is my go-to product because it's extremely reliable and it's very obvious in how the tools are being used across both the presenter and the participants. And that makes for a very effective session when it's highly organized, and less effective if I'm trying to share a lot of different outside content within the organization. Now, the other part to think about, and where Teams actually is the shining star, is the ability to combine that asynchronous versus synchronous collaboration. So I can post documents and get information back at different times of the day. And that way, when I'm actually doing my real-time collaboration, it's much more efficient and it's purposeful. So I believe that Teams has a better edge on understanding the appropriateness of these two different kinds of tools, but they don't have to be combined into the same platform. You could use Zoom or Skype for Business or any other application for your real-time meeting, and then join your sessions for asynchronous with the Teams product as well. The important thing, though, is that there is these dual modes. And the other part of this is this concept around the engagement of people that are my familiar teams. Because for really successful collaboration, you need engagement and exploration. And you can take those same words and use productivity and creativity. If I'm interacting with my teams, the people that I have in my contact list, or the people that I associate with my teams, I'm going to be very productive because I've boxed in those groups and I'm familiar with them, and we have got tasks we're going to be engaged in completing. When I start to add people that are outside of that group, that's when I get into exploration. And that's where tools like Zoom, which are not dependent upon Microsoft or other platforms, but are ubiquitous across devices and different platforms, that will mean that I'm going to be much more likely to engage with people that are not my familiar work group, and they're going to have different ideas and different perspectives. And this happens all the time in project meetings with clients and consultants and other technology groups, that ability to meet outside of the normal work group. So we use those two concepts, the internal workflow, and use products like Skype for Business and Teams, and then use the outside and the other more formal presentations, we're going to use products like Zoom. And this is in a comparison chart that I will be able to provide to you that lists the different kinds of scenarios that come up and which product seems to be the best fit, and which products you need to look out for. So thank you very much for joining this session at SM&W, and I look forward to giving you more insights and input as we get further into collaboration and remote computing.